So I strapped a Draggy to the fastest 5-inch drone that I have, which is the very first DJI V1 quadcopter, if you will, that not many people know about. But it is the first one, and in the past it clocked a top speed of 124 miles per hour. Now the Draggy is the lightest industry standard performance measuring tool for cars, and I've used it over Betaflight GPS logging and GoPro logging because it doesn't let you cheat, and it has this really cool overlay as you have just seen. Now it relies on a Bluetooth connection to a phone, so I bought the world's smallest 2.5-inch Android phone that you can buy for just 35 quid, and my mate Phil put them on the quad with some sticky tape and cable ties. The weight of the phone and the Draggy is about 100 grams, which isn't ideal, but a GoPro with a battery delete is also 100 grams. For some reason the GoPro didn't log any data despite it having GPS turned on and me waiting quite a long time for it to get any satellites. I wonder if removing the battery and powering it from the balance lead of the drone disables the GPS. Either way, the Draggy was the best option, purely for the validation of the runs. So if you make a successful valid time, it lets you post to their official leaderboard. Now, it's not meant for quadcopters, so I selected a 2022 Ferrari Formula 1 car, obviously. Now, of course, this quad has the ability to be much faster. The top speed in this run was about 112 miles per hour, and that's because it's carrying 100 grams of extra weight. And I can't use launch mode because the Draggy has to be dead flat at the start for it to be a valid time. Luckily, once launched, a quadcopter ascends, and Draggy allows this to be a valid time because if it was a car and you were going faster uphill, then it's not cheating. But it won't allow you to descend in a car because you would have gravity on your side and those wouldn't be valid runs. Those aren't the only limitations though. Drones are great at getting to 120 miles an hour plus very quickly, but they are not good at sustained full throttle for a quarter of a mile, because when you go to full throttle you will get a huge amount of voltage sag after some time. So in order to give the model a fighting chance at the quarter mile, the only choice was to up the capacity of the battery to a 1300 milliamp hour 6S. As you can see, this still results in a ridiculous amount of voltage sag, but importantly it was stable enough to make the full quarter mile run at full throttle. Now, I have approached drag strips and channels like CarWow who actually did clock a racing drone completing the quarter mile in 10.8 seconds, so I actually beat that. Sadly, nobody has ever responded to me, but despite that I'm happy with what I was able to achieve. CarWow recorded a Formula 1 car doing the quarter mile in 9.6 seconds, which coincidentally is exactly the time that the quad recorded. Now, a Formula 1 car actually isn't the best at doing quarter mile times because it's rear wheel drive only, it doesn't have traction control, but I'll take it. Now, I've spoke to Draggy and luckily they were more than happy to leave my times on their official app. So if you download the Draggy app and check the Ferrari leaderboard, my quad is the fastest 0 to 60 Ferrari in the history of their app at 1.89 seconds. It's also the fastest at the 8th mile at 5.55 seconds. And it's the second fastest at the quarter mile. It's also the 9th fastest out of all of the cars recorded in May, which, as you can see, there are a lot of them. So that's something to be happy about as well. So there you go. That is my fun video doing an official 0 to 60, 8th mile and quarter mile time with my average racing quadcopter. I want to thank Jack from D3VL who helped me extract the data off the tiny phone so that we could use Draggy's overlay. Jack's the one who unlocked the DJI FPV drone so that it can run at full power for free. He's also part of the team that got video out working on the DJI goggles. He's an absolute superstar. And I want to thank my Patreons for supporting me. If you want to become a Patreon so that I can do more cool stuff like this, then I'll link to it in the video description as well as a pinned comment. And there's this new thanks button, so if you can afford to do so, then I would very much appreciate that as well. So as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.